Hello everyone and welcome to 5-Minute German. In today's video, we will learn the basic sentence structure in German. Learning this concept will help you make sentences in German easily, as well as help you understand topics which come later in A1 as well as A2 and B1. So let's not waste any time and let's get started. So in order to make sentences in German, you need to remember two rules. Rule number one is that the verb will be at second position. Let's understand this with an example. So we take the verb spielen, which means to play. A sentence with spielen will be spielt heute Fußball. He plays football today. So over here we see that the verb is at second position in the conjugated form, which is spielt. We can also write the sentence in another way, and that is heute spielt Fußball. So over here, heute has come to the first position and which is the subject, has come to the third position. But the verb remains at the second position. Another way to write this sentence is Fußball spielt heute. So here we have again rearranged the sentence with Fußball coming to the start and heute going to the end, but the position of the verb remains at the second place. Another way to write this is spielt Fußball heute. Over here again the verb is at the second position. So with this we see that the verb position does not change. We can change the position of other things, but the verb position remains the same. Let's take another example with the verb kaufen, which means to buy. So a sentence with kaufen will be Ich kaufe morgen ein neues Auto. I will buy a new car tomorrow. Over here you see that the verb kaufen in conjugated form is at the second position, which is Ich kaufe. We can also rewrite the sentence as Morgen kaufe ich ein neues Auto. Another way to write this sentence is Ein neues Auto kaufe ich morgen. Over here again the verb is at second position, and we can also write it as Ich kaufe ein neues Auto morgen. Yes, I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking that in this example, how is this the second position? Is this not the fourth position? Because if we take a look at the words, then kaufe is at the fourth position. So does this not violate the rule that the verb will be at second position? So over here what you must know is that the first part, ein neues Auto, this is one complete phrase and we cannot separate it, because you cannot say ein neues kaufe ich morgen Auto. Even in English, if you want to say a new car, then you say it together and you do not split it. And therefore, ein neues Auto will be position 1 and the verb will be position 2. That's why this sentence is correct. And what you should remember is that I said second position and not the second word. So there can be many more words, but if they are one phrase or if they cannot be separated, then it will be considered as first position. Let me explain this point with a few more examples. So we can also write this sentence as Ich und Thomas kaufen morgen ein neues Auto. So over here there are two subjects, which is I and Thomas, and they both are on the first position because they both together are going to buy a new car tomorrow. Another example is Heute und morgen lese ich ein Buch, which means today and tomorrow I will read a book. So over here, heute und morgen together are at the first position. So this is the first rule, that the verb will always be at second position. Now let's go to the second rule. So the second rule is that in a Hauptsatz, the subject comes directly before or after the verb. For those of you who do not know, a Hauptsatz is a sentence which gives complete information and it makes sense on its own. Both the sentences which we saw earlier, which are spielt heute Fußball and Ich kaufe morgen ein neues Auto, both of them are Hauptsatz because they both give complete information to the reader. Now let's see if these sentences follow this rule. So in case of the first example, spielt heute Fußball, we see that the subject is which means he, and it comes directly before the verb. So therefore this sentence is correct and it follows this rule. In the second sentence, heute spielt Fußball, it comes directly after the verb, which is also correct. In the third one, it also comes after the verb, and in the last one, it comes before the verb. So all of these sentences are correct. But what if we kept the verb at the second position and wrote the sentence as Heute spielt Fußball So in this case, does not come directly after the verb. Another way to write the sentence is Fußball spielt heute Over here again, the subject does not come directly before or after the verb. Therefore, both of these sentences are incorrect. In the second example that we saw before, the subject also comes directly before or after the verb. And if we rewrote the sentence as Morgen kaufe ein neues Auto ich or ein neues Auto kaufe morgen ich, then in both of these sentences, again the subject does not come directly before or after the verb. Therefore, both of them are incorrect. Now, since this is a language, therefore there are some cases in which these rules are not followed. And these are, for example, in A1, modal verbs, and in case of Ja-Nein-Fragen, which are yes-no questions, these rules are not followed as it is. And there are topics in A2 and above, such as relative pronouns and Nebensatz, where the position of the verb changes. However, what you must know that all of these cases are extensions of the basic structure. So if you learn this basic structure, then it will be easier for you to understand these topics. So now let's do a recap. So in German, the sentence structure follows two rules. Rule number 1 is that the verb will be at second position, and rule number 2 is that in a Hauptsatz, the subject comes directly before or after the verb. So with this, we come to the end. So now that you have learned this, I would suggest that you go and start creating sentences following these rules and practice it so that you don't have any problems. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions or any feedback, please let me know in the comments below. You can also practice what you have learned in this video by answering the questions in the self-check form, which I will link in the description below. Please like this video and share it with others who are also learning German. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.